Wait, what? I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, bro. I really don't even know what to say. I swear to God, I don't know what to say.
All right, so Adin Ross gives an offer and then takes it back, and now Lieutenant Dan is not gonna get his money. Let's talk about it. All right, so Adin Ross basically offered on the live stream Lieutenant Dan like $100,000 and a kick deal where he will basically get paid. I think he said 50,000. I'll just insert the clip. Hold on.
I'm going to be able to pay for a boat for you. We're going to get you a nice boat in the range of $50,000 to $100,000, and we're going to get you a full-time kick deal, which is a live streaming deal where you can stream your entire voyages and all your adventures, and you could have a passive income come in. And you're going to be, you're going to have a kick deal, man, a live streaming deal, so you could live stream and connect with fans all over the world, and they could really see your adventure, man.
About this deal, Lieutenant Dan seems to be genuinely excited about it, and then Adin Ross took it back. And the reason why he took it back is because there's a picture of one of Lieutenant Dan's mugshots, because he does have a record. One of his mugshots and a charges from someone else. Now those charges include the essay of a minor. So Adin Ross was looking at on stream, which, let me be very clear, I don't expect a lot out of Adin Ross, right? But so that's what he read on stream, and he basically took back his offer because of that. Now apparently that's not correct. Those charges are not correct. And in addition to that, a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't you look this up to begin with, including Lieutenant Dan?
No more.
He came to me. I never went to him. He offered it to me. I never asked for it. So then he turned around and he starts saying about my history. Well, you should have did that before you made the offer. You know, if you're worried about your image and who you have working for you, you should have done your due diligence and looked me up before you made me an offer of $100,000 sign-on bonus and $50,000 a month with a $100,000 boat. And I'm going to let you go because I don't care about that. So I'm going to tell you this.
He took the money away too?
Huh?
He took the $100K?
Took that, as far as I know, everything.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that's the thing. I mean, I didn't ask you for it. You offered it. I agreed to do what you asked me to do. You asked me to be on Kick 100 hours a month. I agreed. I said, no problem. I'll do it. I'm down for that. We agreed, and then all of a sudden, the next thing I see her and see on the internet is how you're disgusted with my history and that deal is done. I did a year in
El Paso County, okay.
That was for criminal attempted bank robbery.
Oh, well, how did that go down?
All right. You got a minute?
Yeah.
All right. I left my family and I was living at my mom's house on the internet all the time, and I found this ad on Craigslist for a medical marijuana grower. Okay, so I replied to the ad. It was for a position in Denver, Colorado. This woman wanted somebody to live in her house. She was buying a house specifically for this, but she wanted to start a medical marijuana grow. But the only thing she knows about medical marijuana is how to arrest people for it, because she's a retired cop from New York City. So I kind of was taken back by that. But I figured, what the hell? She's offering $300 a month cash, live in the house for free, and I get part of the profits of I get part of the weed when it's done. And that's what I did at the time. I grew weed. So we made an arrangement to meet in Colorado in early July. Meanwhile, I'm on probation in North Carolina for a, what was it? Felony fleeing and eluding an officer. Okay, and we'll get into that story later. But this one, I was on probation in North Carolina, and I went and I talked to my probation officer, and I asked him if we could interstate compact transfer my probation from North Carolina to Colorado if I decide to take this job.
Part of his record, because he's been apparently arrested quite a few times. I believe he also had a substance abuse problem. I mean, people have made this statement, and I don't disagree. This is a man who was living on a boat, who, according to him, didn't have anything. that doesn't come without a past, right? But is the past what people are saying it is, which is uh trigger alert, trigger warning, child SA. And that's the problem because now it's gone from, well, this person is a feel good story to he could possibly be a monster. So I found another TikTok where they pretty much broke down his charges. They looked into it. And so I'm going to go ahead and include that TikTok so that they can break it down because they can do it better than I can. So let's hear what they have to say.
By now, everyone has heard of Hurricane Milton, and you've probably heard of this guy. He goes by the nickname Lieutenant Dan. He's gone viral in the last couple days, and his GoFundMe, I think it's up to like $40,000 right now. He refused to evacuate, and instead he's riding out the storm in his little boat. And let's not forget, they call him Lieutenant Dan for a reason. So apparently he's been arrested like a dozen times. But that's not the issue. This photo right here and this court excerpt have been going viral. So pretty much every single post about this guy, and people are like, oh, Lieutenant Dan, and they talk about donating to him or whatnot, people keep sharing this in the comments. It's a photo of Lieutenant Dan that is one of his mugshots, which is easily researchable. This says that following a jury trial in 04 CR 5850, defendant was found guilty of aggravated kidnapping, predatory criminal sexual assault, and child pornography for the 2004 kidnapping and rape of 10-year-old AK when defendant was 42 years old. Defendant was then sentenced to a total of 120 years imprisonment. On direct appeal, defendant raised a number of claims, including that his trial counsel was constitutionally ineffective, but this court affirmed the trial court's judgment, People versus Malinowski. So has he been arrested before? Yeah, like a dozen times. But the other guy, Lieutenant Dan, whose real name is Joseph Malinowski, is not this guy, John Malinowski, who is currently serving 120 years in prison. So love the guy or hate the guy, just know someone photoshopped one of his mugshots into a different person with the same last names, court findings. Not the same guy. In fact, this is John Malinowski, who is currently serving 120 years in prison. And according to the Appellate Court of Illinois' 1st District, this is the entire court transcript. And if you look down here, like right there towards the bottom, it literally says the exact same thing that someone photoshopped onto Lieutenant Dan's photos, which is, following a jury trial in 04 CR 5850, defendant was found guilty of aggravated kidnapping, predatory criminal sexual assault, and child pornography for the 2004 kidnapping and rape of 10-year-old AK when defendant was 42. Defendant was then sentenced to a total of 120 years in prison. Anyways, stay safe out there.
This TikToker said those are not his charges. And also, like, look, you don't have to like him, you don't have to hate him. Let's be real, Lieutenant Dan was minding his own business. Lieutenant Dan was on his boat. He was just trying to get through these storms because he already had gone through Helene, which he said was actually a lot worse than Milton. He expected to go through way more with Milton, but he said Helene felt a lot worse. He was on his little boat, minding his business, and people made him famous, which, like most things online, right? Like, people find this person, they become, interested in them for one reason or another. Then they become sensationalized, and then it's, a lot at once. And this guy, all he has is his boat, and he was trying to just survive. Adin Ross offered the money. People offered the GoFundMe. And not that it's wrong for people to offer to help, but it's not as though he was infiltrating anybody else's life. Now, with that being said, everyone has a right to feel how they feel about the charges or the crimes that he did commit. But according to what I've seen on a few different ones, but I find this specific TikTok to be the best put together, in my opinion. Gives the information in a concise manner, and I enjoy that. So I'm trusting that information is correct. If I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and fix it. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that the guy is a great guy or he's a bad guy. He's a guy. And for a man to live on a boat and not have anywhere else to go, no family, no nothing, he probably has a bit of a past. This doesn't surprise me. I just hope that he didn't, in fact, do the things that is going around. Because, of course, like anything else, the internet is going to do what it does. And you're going to have the good part of it, which is people outreach, reaching out and being able to connect with each other and help each other. And then you're going to have the bad part where people are utilizing or exploiting a situation to get more views or to make money or whatever the case may be. So it could go either way. But I found some TikToks of people basically like giving their opinion on it. So I'm going to include those real quick.
Adin Ross didn't expect Lieutenant Dan to make it. That's why he offered him a $100,000 boat, $50,000 a month to do a kick deal to where he screamed 100 hours per month to receive $50,000 per month, a new boat to voyage around and live stream. He said he took all that away now because of his criminal background that came up. Lieutenant Dan said, "God to my soul, I'm innocent of all charges." The charge he said he was charged with was battery on a law enforcement officer. The officer said Lieutenant Dan punched him in the nose. He didn't mention all the other charges that were circulating and going around that they said that he also committed with SA and the 10-year-old and all the other stuff, right? If that's all he was charged with and that's the honest God truth, whether he did it or not, even though he said he didn't do it, whether he did that or not, that's a mistake that you can come back from. That ain't nothing at all for real. Like, he deserved what you had said you was going to give to him. Hopefully Adin can have a change of heart and see that video and give the guy back the stuff that he initially offered.
Guys, is it true? Anyone who knows me knows I've been so invested in Lieutenant Dan. Like, literally did not sleep last night, even though I'm in Pennsylvania. All because I wanted to know if he was okay. However, I just got a call from my colleague who says that there's all these rumors flying around that Lieutenant Dan is not a good person. Allegedly, he has been convicted of essaying a child, maybe multiple children. I'm not really sure. And that he's been in and out of jail for a long time. So, I'm working right now. I can't investigate. I need all of you to look into this for me and let me know in the comments.
We have to stop sensationalizing crazy people. Okay? I've seen y'all talking about the Lieutenant Dan, and clearly this man is not fucking well. I understand that he's alive by the grace of God, but y'all have to put something into perspective. Hurricane Milton was supposed to be a Category 6. It got downgraded to a Category 5. And I think when it hit landfall, it was a Category 4. Imagine if it stayed a Category 6. It would have killed him. It would have killed him. It would have wiped him off the face of the earth. Okay? We sensationalized that. And hot take, that man was trying to unalive himself. Like, we witnessed a man trying to unalive himself, and we sensationalized him.
This is for the people who decided that it was necessary to come onto social media and talk about Lieutenant Dan's past and his criminal background, which none of it had to do with children or SA. So let me ask you, did you think that Lieutenant Dan didn't have a past of some sort? He's living on a dilapidated boat by himself. And then the part where you're talking about like, oh, he owes money to the city for his boat. Duh. Do you think that he has money to have that boat properly registered? And so
people keep saying like Lieutenant Dan has a criminal history. Lieutenant Dan is a convicted felon or whatever. I honestly don't really care because cops in Florida have DUIs. It's more impressive if you find a Floridian who has not had a interaction with the police at all. Florida has a lot of felons and a lot of ex-felons. There's a reason why it was a big deal when they were debating on whether or not to allow felons to vote. You need to manage your expectations. Perfect humans don't exist. Everybody has a past, including you. Just because you don't think your past is controversial doesn't mean that other people don't, honey.
Man, what Adin Ross did to Lieutenant Dan, lame as hell, bro. That's lame as hell, bro. You don't offer nobody no money, let alone a homeless person some money. $100,000. and then you find out about their past, and then you take away the money. You say, "Oh, I'm not doing it no more." What? First of all, I thought you was doing it out of the kindness of your heart. That's like me going down the street. I see a homeless man. He asks me for food. I give him food. And then somebody tell me, "Oh, did you know he abused women?" And I say, "Oh, let me go take my food back." That's lame as hell, bro. Especially for a homeless person, bro. Most homeless people have a past, bro. Respectfully. Respectfully, most homeless people have a past, bro. They, not always, but typically get there for a reason, bro. Whether it's drug abuse, criminal record, like, most of them have a past, bro. You can't offer that man $100K and then just take it back, bro. That lame as hell, bro. I don't respect nothing about that, bro. I don't.
My thoughts on it, like my final thoughts on it is, number one, if you were gonna offer a deal or money or something like that, you shouldn't prematurely offer it if it's conditional. If it comes with conditions, then you need to make sure that those conditions are met prior to offering that deal. Now, what that other gentleman said, they didn't expect for him to survive the night. And that could very well be what it was. And that's the downside. That's the darker side of like social media, right? Where people will sensationalize something because they expect the worst case scenario and they're almost looking for that to be the case, right? So that they don't have to hold up their end of the bargain because they sell these lofty dreams. They sell these lofty um dreams. And that's the sad part. Lieutenant Dan, if he does have a history like the one that they're circulating, then that should have been checked out prior to, and they would be well within their right to say, I don't want to offer this if I don't want to endorse this person if this is what their background is. But then that's why you do your homework. You ain't got that much money. You got all that money, and you ain't got somebody that could go and just make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's before you offer that type of money to somebody. But if it's not conditional, like what dude said, the last one, if you go in and you give somebody $1 on the street, and then you go and find out some wild shit, you gonna go take that dollar back? You gave the dollar. You should have given that dollar out the kindness of your heart. He just offered something that was so big, probably because he didn't think dude would make it. And the fact that he made it, now he gotta follow through, and he never expected to in the first place. So I mean, it's messed up what was being done to him, especially because he's he's homeless. And there's already a lot of people who are basically like, they're going to take pictures and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll give them some opportunity to make a couple dollars, maybe. I think there is a GoFundMe that has raised like $8,000. I could be wrong, but it's in it, it. They've raised a lot of money for him, and I know that the guy who's been pretty much following him, Terrence Tampa. He's been sort of like keeping up, and I think he was the one that helped to set up the TikTok for Lieutenant Dan. I would say this: you didn't get the 100,000, but that might be a good thing too. It might be good that you're not tied to anybody. Utilize the moment that you have right now. Like clear your name, and there's enough. I think there's enough people going around, kind of like putting the right information out there. But if Lieutenant Dan hears this, if you gotta clear your name, clear your name. But outside of that, take this moment and lean into it. People are interested in your story. People are interested in you. And that 100K would have been nice up front, but it may have come with a lot more than what you would have been willing to give up, right? Because it's tying you to somebody else. Now you just tied to yourself. You have your phone, you have your boat, and you have the internet. Then do what you gotta do. Like learn, like you ain't even really gotta know how to edit. Just put videos up of you talking or showing the stuff that you're doing. Guaranteed people are gonna watch because they're interested. So utilize the opportunity, utilize the moment, Lieutenant Dan, and run with it. But that's it. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And also my links are below. I have an Amazon storefront if you gotta buy some stuff. If it's in my storefront, I do get a cut of it. It's a nice way to help the channel without having to like give any money or anything like that. But if not, then leave a like, leave a comment, and that goes a long way. If you made it up to this part, comment below what Lieutenant Dan should do with this moment. He's not getting 100K from Adin Ross, apparently. What or how should he utilize this moment? All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a good one. Peace.
He survived. He's alive.
Holy shit,
Lieutenant Dan made it.